Good afternoon, everybody. It's RT here in the lab on Monday, March 22nd, to talk about what is the buzz with crypto and what's the latest with BitCloud, and more importantly, what's going on with altcoins versus Bitcoin. My theories and all that coming up. First off, the Fed announced that they are targeting July for a release of the digital currency research. Let's zoom in, because somebody told me that they really didn't like not being able to read what I was talking about. So here we go. As we are looking here, the Fed is talking about releasing all the research on CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Basically a digital currency that would run parallel to the existing cash or fiat dollar. There's lots of buzz going on with this, with Visa and MasterCard already looking to add support for potential CBDCs. I have a feeling that's an acronym we're going to hear a lot about here in 2021. And really what it means for everything, and does it threaten crypto? I don't think so, really. I think what it'll do is probably add some efficiencies to the existing fiat system and run in parallel to everything else. Of course, Ripple now recently revealed its pilot of a new private ledger tailored specifically for CBDCs. NFTs hit the mainstream with Time Magazine's limited edition covers. They are selling 3 NFTs, and there doesn't appear to be any slowdown right now for the craze that is non-fungible tokens, specifically art and other random things that you can call rare and assign a random price to. I wouldn't say I'm scoffing at it. We talked about this a lot last year, as 2021 being a big year for NFTs. I don't think I expected it to be this big this fast, as I often don't, but I have some exposure to things like NFT protocol and some other coins, and that's kind of how I'm playing it. I don't know about buying all these. I don't know. I don't trust the liquidity on the sell side, and I like to stay liquid. Speaking of no liquidity on the sell side, let's slide over to BitCloud Pulse today. Still no sign of withdrawals or exchange listings. Still password protected, essentially a private beta. I'm not too worried about it at all. In fact, I'm just excited. I'm enjoying it. I'm using it. But I want everyone to be aware that, I tweeted out last night, I don't think that this is a great place to be aping in at $131. I just don't think that that's a great place. Like, I certainly wouldn't make a big bet there. My initial entry was much lower, around, I don't know, 70, 80 bucks, somewhere between there. And I'm having fun with that. And I'm trading some of these creator coins to up my stack, so to speak. I don't think, with a buy-only environment, we don't really know what the market thinks of this right now. So anyone who's like, oh, it just keeps going up. Well, yeah, of course it does. There's no way to sell it. And that's something that should concern everybody, even though, again, myself, with the information I have, I'm not concerned. But it stands to reason that, everything you put in there right now does not get to come out until further notice. That could be next week. That could be next month. That could be Q2, Q3. Nobody could say, well, that's it. It's like nobody invited just to join this thing. It's password protected, and none of us, at least myself definitely, was not handed a password saying, come on in, spend your Bitcoin. It's very much a social experiment right now, built on this blockchain, very much, centralized, controlled, and that's great. That's fine. It's a private beta. It's a cool concept. I still think it's sticky as fuck and will do well. For anyone just looking at it now, get in there, play around, do whatever you want, but I wouldn't sell the farm on this one just yet. Personally, I'm excited to see what happens when withdrawals do go live, when exchange listings do happen, and we'll see what the market thinks of it then. And depending on how many endorsements there are and who's really using it, it could just go up, could go down. I think no matter what, there will be a lot of sell pressure right out of the gate because people want to sell now and they can't. So we're seeing some heat in the OTC markets, mostly on the sell side. Go figure. People trying to front run that exodus, offering things like 30% discounts. I would caution anyone around interacting with an OTC market unless it's from a trusted source who has run those fairly reliably, because, there's going to be a lot of shitty people trying to dump and scam and do crazy things. Having said all that, Ariana Grande exploded today, 130%. Somebody who I had talked about before, possibly being somebody to keep an eye on, Katy Perry, Bieber, all leading the way in the sort of celeb sense. This Mr. Beast guy, I don't really know who it is, but man, has he blown up. Watching him last week since 5K. This is its own entire kind of market, and it's been fun to play with. Now, we've got the White Knight, James Prestwich, inadvertently promoting the shit out of BitCloud over the last week, or I'd say maybe 2 days. Basically taking on the role of White Knight, letting everybody know if they have been included in the platform or not. Some people responding, perhaps sarcastically, saying things like exciting or can you check? I do find the tone of the thread kind of funny, like, no, I'm so sorry to let you know that someone's using your name to promote a scam, like, oh. However, here I thought it was interesting. He said, you're not part of the official pre-seed, but someone besides Nader Theory has camped your name and is impersonating. Sorry, that's the worst possible case. So on the one hand, he's saying that it's terrible that these things have been pre-seeded and someone's using your like without consent. On the other hand, he's saying it's actually worse if they don't and someone goes in and squats on your profile. And that brings up an interesting thing I want to talk about today. If this wasn't pre-seeded with Elon Musk, with all of these different names, Katy Perry, what would happen in week 1? People would go around just like the .com era and they would scramble to sign up as many as they can. You can create as many as you want, I guess with different phone numbers and all that stuff. However, this whole site would just be full of squatters and scammers. So by pre-seeding 15,000 profiles, they prevented that from happening. And, you get certain guys like this who are just saying, well, they're not, they're raising money and pumping scam coins with your likeness and they didn't ask permission, which is fair, I suppose. We can allow people to have their opinions and assertions. However, at the same time, he's kind of acknowledging that it's worse if they didn't precede it. So a little bit of confusion over here. Bottom line is, hundreds of people who never knew this thing existed now know that it existed. As you can see, this thread is extensive. So a little bit of promotion going on here, perhaps inadvertently. And it's just going to be really exciting to watch how this thing folds out. Now let's get to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at the range highs, looking kind of heavy up into the short reload zone. Not a whole lot of follow through with the buy volume. Now coming back down in, testing range highs and breaking in. I think short term this looks quite bearish, and that's really good news if you like altcoins and you want to see Bitcoin dominance move. Because on the weekly, Bitcoin dominance has been consolidating below the 20 moving average, which is a pretty good signal for is it a bull, is it a bear. So right now I do expect the next move out of this range should be a breakdown. If we zoom in on that, you can see there's a nice little range forming here. Nothing really significant happening anywhere inside of this, but if we lose this level around 60%, we could expect to zoom out and see some pretty crazy things going on in altcoins. Much of that may resolve around Ethereum, Bitcoin, which is basically moving sideways right now. However, today I want to talk about some of the altcoins that I'm seeing in the market and, how to find value. When you look around, it's very easy to start with leaderboards on Binance and whatnot and just see, oh my God, everything's up. I'm just going to start buying things that are moving. But when I look at this chart, all I think is great trade, time to take profit. And that doesn't mean it can't go further. If you're holding seller, if you're trading seller, if you're a big fan, this is like a huge sort of bottom. If this was like inverted, I'd be like, holy shit, that looks bearish. It's probably going to go way down. So these kinds of charts can present a lot of opportunity for people perhaps that are already holding them and they just say, it took a little bit at the chaos, maybe take a little more here, but ultimately I want to hold my bag. Cool, go for it. But what I'm looking for is coins that are down in reload zones, down at the bottom of ranges, showing signs of buy volume cranking up so that I can be on the leaderboard next month after positions that I've taken this month in quiet, sideways moving markets. Algo is one, as you know, if you follow me on Twitter, @randomtask555. This is one I've been watching closely. After putting the PRZ video together, I thought, man, I'd be crazy not to go back and actually try to trade this. And we got this nice burst of volume last weekend, basically like 8 days ago now. So any moving sideways here, I do expect to see continuation. I've got a small bag. Now, I went and picked up some Bitcoin today, which is a little painful because I do expect short term for it to go down. I'm using that purely on a SAT trading basis, trying to up my Bitcoin stack. I was actually out of Bitcoin short term because the amount that I had in my portfolio, I went and whipped into BitClout. And we'll see how that's going. How that's going. My BitClout stack is up about 30% with trading, different creator coins and all that. But mostly I'm just holding some celebs, hoping for a moon. We'll see how that goes. Now, Balancer, how do you pronounce this one? Just came up over this SR level, has already poked through a couple times on volume, dipped back down into what you can expect is probably a reload zone. Now, I've got quite a little list here to share with you guys today, so we are going to fly through it fairly quickly to keep this video on the shorter end. But after a dip into this reload zone, we've got new volume coming in, just broke through that level and is now retesting it. This one looks like it could be in for a leaderboard month in April. Band protocol also sitting down around the lows on the Bitcoin chart. We see a fairly sized uptick in buy volume here at the lows, which tells me somebody is in here protecting this, and we're right back down against that with no real signs of sellers. So I'll be keeping a close eye on Band this week. This is another one of my favorite looking charts right now versus Bitcoin. You can see that Bell here is kicking right up against this key level. I guess should be marked as resistance for now. But with this volume bubbling up here and new highs in volume coming in locally right here, it's just a matter of time, I think, until this one breaks above. And that's the nice thing. When you look around the market and you see tons of this shit, you can start to feel more confident about other projects actually making the move, the breakout, because we just know that that's what's kind of going on right now in the market. So my job, as I see it as a trader, is to scan the Binance altcoins, if that's where I'm trading, and start to look for the coins that are yet to break out, or perhaps, lots of volume coming in at the lows. So we're going to fly through this list here. This is not an exhaustive list. I did a quick scan this morning looking for things that were down in their ranges, showing signs of breaking out. And I definitely don't know much about half these projects. So, don't shoot the messenger if they end up being total shit or super high inflation. Curve is an interesting one. Big breakout on volume here. Now settled back down in the reload zone, just kind of hanging out. This is a location where I like to start buying things typically if I'm looking for the long side. And you can see bullish divergence confirmed here on the MACD. I don't know about the RSI. Yep, little one here down on the RSI as well. So something to keep an eye on. Again, looking back in a month, how many coins that are perhaps up here are going to be pulling back, just kind of hanging out, and how many coins that are maybe down here in these reload zones are going to actually be showing some breakouts. I want to get ahead of the next move, not chase the last one. So right here, Dia is another one that looks really juicy down here, pushing up against this level once again. Really big volume coming in last week, and then it got rejected. So if we get up through here again, that's like, how many tests of this level do we get before this thing really sees some skylight? And when that comes, what's that upside going to look like? Can I get a free position? Can I sell half on a double? Which at this point, from this exact moment, would look something like that. Do I think this can be up here sometime in Q2? Because if so, I can just, take a position, sell half of that position here, get my money back, and have a free ride on whatever the hell Dia decides to do later this year. Flamingo Finance, FLM, I believe that's what this one's called. DeFi project built on Neo. Kind of coming up here out of the reload zone. Not a bad looking chart. Not necessarily my favorite, but there's a lot of these. So don't let anyone tell you that you missed the party, missed the boat. You got to get out there hunting. Start with charts, not necessarily the leaderboard, H-bar is one that I really like. It's a little bit late moving here. I don't have my bag right now. I was longing it down here on this retest. Sold some. So I am looking for reloads on this. I guess that's why it's on this list. Let's take a look at Komodo. I mean, tell me, with all of this buying happening down here, lots of things, does this look like a top? I don't know. I think it looks like a breakout waiting to happen. So Komodo actually technically today just breaking out. If we just take it across here, I got to get my little magnet off. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, Komodo looking like it's ready to move. Up 10% on the day. Kyber Network, one that somebody asked me last week on the stream to chart, and after breaking out on nice high volume, pulled back a little bit the other day and is now starting to move. This KRZ, Chaos PRZ, just looks hungry, doesn't it? LTO is another one that somebody who I love and respect loves from an FA point of view. Now, of course, I believe his position is long since free by now. He's been longing it, playing around with it all through this. But I noticed today that it is broken out sort of against this resistance 3 times and hasn't really seen a lot of rejection. So it's basically just coiling up above this SR level. I could expect to see some nice fireworks from that yet. I don't have a bag. I'd like one. Neo is one to keep an eye on. Platform tokens going a little bit crazy lately with the rise of Binance Smart Chain hype, and now ADA being over $42 billion. I always have to chuckle when I say that. And, let's see how Neo performs here, as they do have a big fat treasury and there are some apps running on it, although I don't know anyone who uses it. Let's be real. Right now, OG is another new listing on Binance. There are, some things to be excited about on this chart. Probably not my favorite one. More chart history is typically better when you want to make a decision. OM recently launched. That is MantraDAO. I believe that's Polkadot based, and it's kind of just chilling in this reload zone. Can we get continuation from here? Maybe a little lower first. Who knows? But it's parked. Lots of ideas here to chew on. And Omise Go, OMG, probably something I charted on the daily. yeah, right here, just chilling at range lows. And, lots of volume coming in at these levels. So I do think that this being a low for invalidation with a long to the upside could age well. ONT, my trade is moving along nicely off these lows. This is one that I talked about on our ideas section here. So if you haven't yet and you want to check out some of these ideas, these things have been flying. I don't put a lot on there. I try to be very selective. A lot of the things I trade, I don't even make it on here, but I look to get the best ones. You can see VET just came into profit levels today after a couple of weeks waiting. And we've got Dragon Chain that dipped a little bit first, but is starting to break out. So there's some pretty juicy ideas over here. And of course, you can see ONT last month just came up, tagged the PRZ, and then down, but it's starting to move again. And I do see more upside on that in the future. Ocean, almost about to complete the trade that I put out last month. So you can see a lot of these are midterm. They're not like sweaty day trades where you have to get in right away, but I do put my best ideas out on there. So if you haven't already, sign up on TradingView and follow us at Hxro Labs. We are at about 16 minutes in the video, a couple minutes left. ONT starting to move, pretty exciting. OXT, something somebody brought up recently on stream, does look pretty good. Let's get these lows, get some nice buy volume coming in. Where will it go? Augur, Rep, this is an old chart here, but I added it to my list because I see lows and I see lots of buy volume coming in. Solana, this one, could it be ready for another leg after tapping the pump chaser zone and getting some decent buy volume here today? If it continues to dip around here, anything in here, I'm excited about Solana as ever. And I would like to add to my bag on that dip. Same with Serum right here, kind of catching the same bid. Storage versus USD has already made a nice move, but versus Bitcoin, look at all this buy volume, significant difference from back here. So I could expect to see some fireworks here in the next little while. And Sun, one of Justin Sun's coins, you've noticed a couple of his are starting to move. JST, so there could be a little triple threat there with TRX, Sun, and JST token. Love it or hate it, guy knows how to move a coin, and I'm just here to make money and trade them. So let's see. Here's TRX starting to break up off the lows. Nice little volume coming in. TRB, same kind of thing, sitting down here at the lows. I mean, there's so much juice in this market. The only one I'm going to be staying away from right now is VET. It's a $5-6 billion cap. It's probably going to be the future of something. But, my trade has passed. It has come into my profit levels, and I've closed most of the position and now have a little bit left riding. And we'll see how the chaos does. We'll see what comes after that. VidT climbing back in here, and ZRX right down in the reload zone, also looking pretty strong with some pretty juicy profit objectives way up above if it does get a nice breakout here later this quarter. So that's what I see on Binance right now. And don't be too sad if you didn't see your coin on there. That was a quick scan, took me about 10 minutes. When you start to notice the volume and you can start to spot the location on the range in the chart, it becomes a lot more clear, where to be hunting. There's tons of things that are moving. If you want to day trade, you probably want to find something that has momentum right now, already rallying. But I find that stuff fairly risky. I prefer to trade on the midterm so that I can position myself in what might become the next leaderboard coin over the next month. If you guys enjoy what I did here today and you like the content we're putting out, you can hit us with a like. Wouldn't mind a sub either. That lets us know that you appreciate what we're doing full throttle. And if you haven't already, you can follow us at Real Hxro Labs or myself at RandomTask555 on Twitter. Have a wonderful day, guys. And whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. Take care.